Episode 102 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Become a supporter at patreon.com/The Wilderness Podcast. Our supporter of the week is Meatlord. We are also brought to you by Audible. Get a free month trial and free audiobook at audibletrial.com/wild. Welcome to episode 102 of the Wilderness Podcast. I am your host, Dilz, and with me, as always, is Deagin.
Hey, how's it going?
Quite the eventful week this one was. First things first, we have a Devblog talking about a new additional room to the player-owned house. Also included in that Devblog, an assortment of different questions pertaining to all things in-game. Runescape gets some soundtracks released onto Spotify. And a smaller dev blog talking about some changes within the game itself. Things like left-clicking the cooking ranges to use. Some Slayer helmet recolorments. Recolorments, is that even a word? It is now. And some interface changes. Last week, the OSRS team asks the community to submit some suggestions for the rewards for completing 100 Master Clue Scrolls. Well, we got some, and they're a bit of a doozy if you haven't seen them yet. And, of course, the Deadman mode tournament happened this weekend.
What big controversy this season?
It wouldn't be Deadman mode without it.
Yeah.
But I also pulled some clips, not a highlight reel, but some moments that I felt stood out a little bit. Some laughs, some questions, and more. But before we get into all of that, Deagin, what did you do this weekend? This week?
Non-RuneScape related, I guess. Work.
Good old grocery store biz.
Yeah, no, I didn't play any other games really. But RuneScape related, I got 99 prayer, so that's nice.
Oh, nice, congrats.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah, burned a nice hole in my bank.
How much money did it cost you? What level were you when you started this grind, and how much did it cost?
Because I did it bit by bit, and I also did like ensouled heads, but bought them really cheap and they went up a couple thousand, and I sold those. I don't know. I did my prayers slowly, and I did it in a bunch of different ways over the course of like a couple months. So I did ensouled dragon heads, which was, I guess, the best experience per hour. I think Bloodvelds is pretty close, but the dragons were just, faster. And then I slowly bought 99 prayer with wyvern bones and dragon bones. So let's say around like 92. 92 I stopped doing ensouled heads. And then I put a buy-in 2.2k, I think. 2,250. This was like months ago though.
Yeah, so you were kind of prepping for it.
Yeah, I just had like money floating, and I was like, you know what? Like, if you just have cash sitting in your bank doing nothing, there's not really a point. Like, it's the whole StarCraft RTS thing, right? Every like GP sitting in your bank is like isn't actually worth anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, GP is kind of useless if you're not buying anything with it.
Yeah, so I always try and have like a little amount in my bank, and I'll be flipping or slow buying something that I want, resources and whatnot. But I ended up selling a bunch of the bones because I think it was one of the wyverns or the dragons shot up to like 2.8k. So I ended up selling off like half my stock and then buying the other. I don't know, I was flipping my bones around trying to make as much money as possible, but it cost me a lot. I'm under 1 bill bank now, so
you don't have an actual number of how much money you spent on the bones?
No.
Oh, true. Okay, do you know how many hours roughly it took you? How many days did you spend doing it, and how long each day?
Can't answer that.
I guess it depends on if you're working or not, right?
Yeah, so okay, as of recently, the last burst of prayer and stuff was, I don't know, let's just say 30 mil, safe number. And then I would do like a couple hours each day, but sometimes if internet was good, I would one tick the bones. And then sometimes I'd AFK super hard and I'd you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, I would try and get like 1,000 or 2 done each day. Some days I got like a way more, some days I got like none, but whenever we last recorded, it was 2 days after that, I think, 2 or 3 days.
True, okay. So you have 99 prayer now. Any reason you got that, or is that just to have the skill done?
I wanted 126 combat, which I got.
True.
I was 250k magic experience from 99. I'm just like really lazy in terms of like I don't want to sit down and do prayer, but now it's kind of like the perfect moment. I'm like tired and I'm like, watch some Netflix, watch some YouTube.
Yeah, it is that nice blend of AFK while still getting a lot of experience.
Yeah. I don't know. I think in like 2 years ago when we first started, I said I wanted to get maybe 99 prayers, my first 99. Like I've always liked it.
True. Yeah, I said that about construction.
Yeah.
Shit. I got close, 82.
Yeah. It was a big money sink, so I want to get that out of the way. And I think at 96, there's not really a point to getting any more prayer because super restores don't gain an extra. Like I think the most you get is 32 per sip.
That's a fair chunk though.
Yeah, it's nice. Now I'm doing agility slowly. I'm pretty close to 83 right now. I'm like pretty like inefficient with it. And I want to try and get to as close to like I think 87 is my goal. Mainly because so when I started, I was 200k experience from 99. And if I'm the way I do it is I do the Sears course agility.
200k experience from 99?
Magic.
Right,
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
And the way I do Sears course, because I have the Kandarin's hard done, I can teleport right to the bank, and so that makes it like 60k agility an hour. And I'd kind of like, it's free magic experience, so it's like,
Yeah, I guess. But at what cost? That's the question. I cannot stand agility.
But yeah, I'm just doing that right now. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know. What'd you do this week?
Nothing too exciting. School life, the grocery store life, and then some RuneScape. So you kind of dropped a little hint earlier, but our internet's been absolutely trash. So I need to get that figured out because it prevents me from doing a lot of things.
Yep.
Sometimes I can't do PVM, and it's super random. And when I say it's bad, I mean wood cutting redwoods is like the only thing I could actually do.
Yep.
So I've been kind of doing a lot of AFK things. I did do a few raids with some people from the CC, and I got my first drop in my name too, which was the Dexterous Scroll.
Nice.
Sold for 82 mil. It was a 6-way split, so in the end it was like 13.7 mil each. But still, it's a lot of money right there, like 13 mil, that's always nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exciting to get that drop in your name. But besides that, it's just AFK things like wood cutting redwoods. And I've also been, when the internet's good enough, to AFK wyverns. I'll be doing that as well because I need to get 99 range eventually. It's nice to get it. Plus, it's nice to do something AFK where you're making decent money. So I'll just AFK, watch some Netflix or YouTube or whatever it is. And at night, I can walk away with like 2 or 3 mil.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice, and it's kind of easy to do. So you do need 72 Slayer to kill wyverns. You need a good enough range level to actually range them. You can use magic on them too, but you're not going to make as much money because you're casting spells. But if you're thinking of AFKing wyverns, the main problem is your first 15 minutes there. Well, you can't AFK them really because you're going to be getting attacked by any wyvern that's free. That's not being attacked by somebody else, which causes you not to be able to safe spot whatever wyvern you're positioned to. So if you just go there, you'll see like 3 or 4 people, or there's 3 or 4 spots that you can safe spot the wyvern. So you kind of got to learn those ones. It's not too difficult, but it's not super AFK. It's not like wood cutting where you can just click it and then go play some other game on the side. It's probably closer to like fletching, where you can fight the wyvern, but after like 20 seconds or so, you're going to have to go loot whatever's there and then get ready to attack the next one when it spawns, because it spawns pretty quickly.
Yeah, and those spots are pretty competitive at times as well.
Yeah, it can be. Luckily, I have the 2,000 total level, so I can go to those worlds, which always have free spots.
Yeah.
But if you're just getting there and you have the aggro, you want to go to a world that's kind of full and might have maybe just one wyvern free. Because luckily, if everyone's attacking their own wyvern, you might be able to safe spot one that's free, since the other ones are taking the aggro. But if there's 2, then you're kind of just screwed.
I don't know if they patched it, but when I would AFK wyverns, you could jump in and out of the cave and just stand in the entrance, like don't actually enter. You go in, you jump out, and if you just like stand there and wait 10 minutes, you'd be okay. I don't know if they patched that though, but I used to do that years ago. Whenever I first like got into RS pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. I normally just want to kill as many as I can while, like, I bring food and I bring prayer potions and stuff, just enough so that I can kill them and eat up if I'm taking too much damage. But it's not bad money. I don't know how much it is per hour. I've seen numbers like 700 to 800k. Luckily, there's a CC that if you need to buy some supplies like ranging potions or broad bolts, then you can use it to buy them. Or if you want to sell some items in your inventory, because let's say you're just full on inventory and you can't pick up certain supplies, then, or you forgot your elk runes, whatever it is, the CC called Wyvern CC is where you would go to do it. Obviously, you're going to either buy things at a marked up price or you're going to sell things at a marked down price. If you're in a pinch, it's kind of useful. Besides that, I think that's basically it. I still haven't had the opportunity to do the new quest, making friends with my arm.
You know what? I kind of forgot about that quest. I'm going to do it this week.
I just couldn't find it where the leg was decent enough for me to actually do it. Or if it was decent enough, I'm like, I'm going to run a few raids. But it always spiked up and down. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
That's my week, basically. Quick little run through. So I guess let's get right into it.
All right, so I guess we'll start off with the most recent poll blog. Anyway, so the first thing that they mentioned, and we actually kind of teased in the beginning, was the Portal Nexus.
Well, I wouldn't say it's the most recent. They have made some changes, but it did come out like last Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. I think I guess I'll explain what the Portal Nexus is. So the Portal Nexus is a room that would require a minimum of 72 construction and 200k gold to build. And once you do that, you'll be able to build the Portal Nexus, which is located in the center of the room. And the room has a doorway on each side of the room. Activating the Portal Nexus will open an interface with all available teleports. And these can either be clicked on, or you can use the keybinds, all that good stuff.
Yeah, similar to the jewelry box where you have like A, B, C that you can use as hotkeys to actually teleport.
Yeah. So if you want to actually unlock a teleport, you'll need to unlock it like how the portal chambers currently work. So you'll need runes for that particular spell, and you'll need like 1,000 casts of that spell to unlock it.
That's a pretty hefty number. That's going to cost you quite a bit.
Yep. Iron Man will love it. Yeah, you'll be able to set a default left-click teleport, and you can do that and you can also configure it with a right-click. If this is done, then the interface with all available teleports would be available via a separate right-click option. Should you wish for the left-click to open a menu, you can leave this unconfigured or reconfigure it via a right-click option. So for the first tier that you need 72 construction for, you'll have a teleport limit of 4 marble blocks, and you get 2,000 construction experience. Tier 2 is 82 construction. You have 8 teleport locations, and that'll be 4 marble blocks, 2 gold leaves, and you get 2.1k construction experience. And tier 3, so this will require 92 construction. You have infinite amounts of teleport locations, and you'll need 2 magic stones, 1 gold leaf, and that's 2k construction experience.
Cool. So that's an interesting idea.
So if I had to guess, it's because POHs are super laggy. I think it's the laggiest part of the game.
The load timer can be pretty big depending on how many rooms you have and how it's configured. Where if you're looking for a player-owned house layout, you'll see ones that focus on having the least amount of loading.
And you also just get really bad FPS in comparison to every other place. The GE's bad because there's so many players, obviously. But the POH is bad because I guess there's so many different separate models you have to load all at once, and they're all on screen.
True, yeah.
If you're standing, once you come into your portal, you see a random kitchen with everything filled out. You know what I mean? If the rooms, the armor stands, the 30,000 portals, which is, I guess, what they want to eliminate. Also, if you want to have every portal in your POH, the layout becomes really silly.
Yeah, there's no organization.
Yeah, you pretty much use those gardens or the ones with the pools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you'll just make a line and then you just add teleports next. It's pretty silly. And
you'd need at least 5 portal rooms to get every teleport. I use 3. A lot of people use 2. I choose the ones that I thought would be most useful. I have 1 for Ancients, 1 for the Standard, and then 1 for Lunars. So I'll have Varrock, the Great Korend, I want to say Merim, which is Apatol. The Ancients I have, I think, 1 that teleports you to the dig site, one that teleports you to Canifis, and then one that teleports you to Greater Demons in the Wilderness. And then I have my Lunars, which does the Daggin Tooth Island, which is where the Dagginoth Kings are. I have the Fishing Guild, and I have Lunar Island? I can't remember what the third one is.
Yeah, see, I have Lunar Island for when I was doing Vorkath and I didn't have Fremenic Elites done.
Mm-hmm.
I have Canifis, because sometimes you just need to go to Canifis, and it's quick.
Yeah.
And then I have the Kurend. And then in my other room, I have Varrock, Falador. Well, Varrock for like the dailies and the Grand Exchange. Falador for Cerberus, pretty much. And I don't know what the last one is. Some random one that I don't really use ever.
Right. Yeah, point is you're missing, like, I'm missing Lumbridge, Falador, Ardone, Camelot, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense why they would bring this in, so that you could actually use some of the other ones.
Yeah, save some space, save some of that lag, make it a little bit more convenient. Big gold sink.
Yeah. So last week we talked about how the game, comparing to 2007, the year, versus today, the teleports and how many we had now versus then. And there's a huge difference. It was like 400 something for what we currently have, whereas back then it was like 120, 100 and something. Do you think that this is adding to the problem of having too many teleports?
So I don't feel like that there's too many teleports in the game, because I don't really want to, I think most of us don't really want to spend our time like running from place to place.
Yeah.
I think what the issue is that this like makes POH even more overpowered. As of right now, like the POH kind of like makes the Desert Amulet restore like the prayer altars and a Narda.
Yep, that's right.
Makes that like really 100% irrelevant unless you're like a low level Iron Man.
Yeah.
It makes teleporting like useless. It makes the quest cape useless because the quest cape is like the closest to a fairy ring, but if you have a fairy ring in your POH,
yeah, you just go there.
So right now POH, like, it's expensive, but the quality of life that you get from it is ridiculous. And the big thing is that everyone uses World 330.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you don't need these levels. You just go to Remington, use someone else's house.
Yeah, I mean, I use my own because I just want to have my own.
It is convenient. It's nice being able to teleport straight to your house, not having to just go to Remington and then world hop. Find, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
find the person.
So I think this will add to that kind of issue. It'll make like more power creep towards a POH. But I'm kind of conflicted because I do see the reasons why. And it's like, well, you can already have all the teleports in a house.
Or you can just have the money and buy the tabs, right? You don't need the magic levels.
Yeah, the main thing is that it makes it like super convenient.
Yeah.
In terms of like, you just only have to bring like, so if I was doing Vorkath, I would have Dust Runes, Law Runes, and is it Chaos? So I can do Crumble Undead and teleport to house in my room pouch.
True.
And then from there, I would just teleport to my POH, tag the pool, and then go to Lunar Island or whatever, rebank, talk to the dude, get kicked out.
Yeah.
And then run. And it made it like way easier. And so I don't have to bring like multiple teleports and whatnot. Even like on Slayer tasks and stuff. So like, I'm kind of conflicted because I see why they have it, because you can, like, anyone can already get all the portals, but it kind of just makes it more accessible, where I'm too lazy to redesign my whole layout.
Yeah, and the portals will still be faster for the teleports you use most often, because when I see this, I think, yeah, I'll probably build it in my house, but I'm not going to get rid of my portals I already have up.
Oh, I probably will.
I still like the idea of being able to do a single click to multiple areas, whether it's Varrock, Great Kurend, the Dagginoth Island, the Wilderness Teleport, Kalengar, I think it's called. This one will have a menu you need to go through. Yeah, you can set one as your left click to teleport, but I like having multiple ones sometimes, not having to configure it every time.
Yeah.
Depending on what I'm actually doing.
I don't know. So I have a lot of like eclectic imps in my bank, and I'll only bring this up because when I'm like ripping medium clues, I have to like remember to bring all these teleports and half my inventory is teleports.
Yeah.
And if this is enabled or like put into the game, all I need are home teleports. And I can just teleport to my POH.
Yeah.
Bring maybe my Master Scroll book and like the Xerix that I wear. Like it, I don't know. It's really good, but I don't know. Let's talk about the poll questions because they're
It's quite a bit.
yeah. And it's not all about the Portal Nexus, so no need to worry. So should the Portal Nexus, as described in the Devblog, be added to the game? The Portal Nexus is built in the Nexus Room of the POH, and it requires 72 construction. At 72 construction, the Portal Nexus is limited to 4 teleport locations. 82 is 8, and 92 is unlimited.
I don't know if it's important to mention, but you do upgrade it. So you can't just build straight to the level 92 construction. If you have 92, you have to go 72 to 82 to 92. So that's 8 magic blocks, 3 gold leaves.
Or 8 marbles, you mean?
8 marbles and then 2 magic stones.
Yeah. You guys should, let us know what your opinion is. I'm conflicted. I'm very conflicted on this. Mainly because I'm going to have to boost. I don't really want to do that. Don't want to have to go through that again. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to the poll questions. So, if it's added to the game, should there be a hotspot that allows you to mount the Xeric Talisman? This would require 72 construction, 1 mahogany plank, a gold leaf, the talisman, and 5,000 fangs. For unlimited talisman teleports, constructing this would give you 5,000 or 500 construction experience. If the Portal Nexus is added to the game, should there be a hotspot that allows you to mount a dig site pendant? 82 construction, 1 mahogany plank, gold leaf, a curator's medallion, which can be obtained by trading the Varrock curator 250 rubies, 100 cosmic runes, 500 fire runes for the unlimited dig site pendant teleports.
I feel like that one should just be added to the jewelry box. I don't know why you need to mount it on.
I think it's quest related. That's my guess. I don't know. That or there are too many teleports right now in the jewelry box.
Yeah, it could be.
There's like 20 or something. It's ridiculous. But yeah. All right, poll question 4. Should it be possible to fill or empty runecrafting pouches by right-clicking them while the bank is open, using only essence already in your inventory?
Sounds good to me. A little quality of life.
The only thing I'm worried about is now I feel like I'm going to have to like start using mouse keys or something if I ever go back to runecrafting, like lavas, just to quickly fill. Should a right-click option be added to Wizard Property, allowing you to quickly claim the daily pure essence you receive from him after completing the medium, hard, or elite are down achievement diary?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know why that's not a thing already.
Yeah.
Should a shortcut be added to the back of the Elkarad Palace, allowing players with 70 agility to jump through the window after completion of the hard desert achievement diary? This has actually been asked a lot on the subreddit for the past like year and a bit. Like I've seen this come up a lot.
So this way you could jump straight into the desert, right?
So you like the way, let's say you use your Amulet of Glory and you teleport to Elkarad, you get put in like the king's room in the palace and you have to run all the way around. So if you want to go to Shanty Pass to kill like Calphites or something, it makes the run way longer. And if you have this, then it'll allow you to jump through and save like a minute and all your run energy too.
Fair enough.
Should the owl message, poll question 7, should the owl message when failing the urn in a pyramid plunder be removed? I haven't really done it enough to like know how annoying it is. I
never really bother. Does it bother people?
I don't know. Regardless, they should make it a game filtered thing. You can put your game, you right click game messages and put it into filtered.
I don't even know if it is or isn't. I never had a problem with it.
Oh, dude, I'm thinking of agility pyramid. You know where you go for the top? I don't know why I was thinking that. Pyramid plunder.
When you're doing the
urns, yeah. The urns. Okay, I guess that being really annoying.
It's not that annoying. I never had a problem with it. I don't know why you would want that, except for like you want to keep your chat box tab onto all, and it maybe fills up your chat box tab.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
But like you just click clan, you probably can filter it out. I don't know. Like I said, never really was that big of a deal for me where I was trying to figure out how do I get rid of this owl message?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't have to worry about it because 99 thieving, desert elites,
True.
so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, poll question 8. So, should items that have options available whilst the bank interface is open, such as the coal bag, gem bag, or herb sack, have the same options available while depositing interface, while the deposit box interface is open too?
A little quality of life.
Yeah,
Sure.
people use those deposit boxes. I always forget because I never do. But yeah.
I use it all the time when I'm like wood cutting and I don't feel... Actually, I use it a lot when I'm wood cutting because it's sometimes easier to click.
I'm just afraid of like banking my equipped items.
Yeah,
and
that
then
happens
you're
a
like,
lot.
yeah. Should bucket packs of 100 noted buckets be added to the general stores and farming shops?
I don't know. I look at that and see, sure,
Benefits Iron Man.
yeah, it does. It just seems like a nuisance having to obtain a bunch of buckets. What, you go to a general store and world hop a bunch? Is that how you do it right now?
Probably, yeah.
So
I'm assuming they put this question in because there's probably bots that actually do that in free to play and then sell them for like 30, 40 GP profit.
probably. I mean, when I need to buy buckets or pots or whatever it is, I fucking buy a lot. And I
Yeah.
don't care how much. I pay like 100 each. If you know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me.
Should a version of the Calphite Queen head that can only be used for the Hold on, wait a second. Better not be getting fucked right now because I just got my Calphite Queen head. Let's read this. Poll question 10. Should a version of the Calphite Queen head that can only be used for the completion of the Elite Desert Achievement Diary be guaranteed after 256 kills, similar to Vorkast's head? Those already above 256 kills who have not yet completed the diary would be guaranteed to receive the head on their next kill. This head can be used to unlock the Green Slayer helmet.
Cannot,
sorry.
I was gonna say no, but I think they've added it since that you can't use it to recolor your Green Slayer helmet. So in
Yeah.
which case, makes more sense.
When I was grinding the head, I got mine at like, 184, 186.
Yeah.
I have a buddy, it took him like over 1,000 kills to get his. And so the whole time in the back of my mind, I'm like, please don't be me. Please don't be me.
Yeah.
And then eventually I got it. And I was like, oh, nice. 256, it means you've gone over the drop rate twice.
Yep.
So I do think it's fair, especially if it's like guaranteed with Vorkast's head. And I only say it's okay. I mean, I don't think it should be a thing for everything, but the elite, like, if you want, say, a Calphite Queen pet, you kind of need to have the Elite Desert Diaries done if
Yeah.
you're expecting to get it like on like a normal drop rate, because the elites add such a huge quality of life. It allows you to use the agility shortcut. It allows ropes to be permanent, so you save 2 inventory slots, and like it makes actually killing Calphite Queen way more convenient because you only get like 1 or 2 kills a trip.
Yeah, and you don't get good drops, really. No one's there for the money.
But yeah, I think that would be cool.
If you could recolor your Slayer helmet with this head, I'd be more opposed to it, but since it's only for the achievement diary, 256 kills, that's quite a bit. Yeah, that should be okay, right?
But yeah, poll question 11. Should the way worlds are displayed in the World Switcher interface be changed so they are consistent with the rest of the game? For example, World 42 would show as 342 as it does in the main Selected World interface.
Yeah.
So as of right now, if you look at the World Hopper thing, it'll say like 318 or something. But when you're in game, it'll say World. Wait, am I getting confused? It'll say World 18.
I think you're right, yeah. Yeah, so they're all displayed like from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if you look at anybody in your friends list, it'll be, if you're in World 2, it's actually 302 on your friends list.
Yeah.
So I do think they should make it more consistent because one problem is we're in the hundreds right now. So World 120 is actually 420, right?
Yeah.
So it gets a bit confusing when you're, especially if you're PKing, right?
Yep.
You're telling people to world hop to this one, and sometimes it's not entirely clear.
Yeah, I think that'd be a nice little change. But yeah, poll question 12. Should a message be added to the chat box when you log in telling you that you have items waiting in your Grand Exchange collection box? Should you have anything waiting there? Or should you have anything waiting there? This would be toggleable at the Grand Exchange. This is some RuneLite shit, right?
Yeah, RuneLite has it. OS Buddy has it.
Weirdly enough, I don't know if it's in the base client, but I've always known because I log in and it says like finish selling or selling blank, and it'll give you like an update on what items sold.
Yep.
So that's how I would know. I don't like. I've always known that to be a thing, so I don't know if the base game is missing that, but if it is...
Well, it is. That's why we're getting this question, right?
Yeah. Poll question 13, should the thermonuclear smoke devil be given an altered model rather than the current one? Because the current one's just like a bigger version of the normal smoke devils.
Yeah.
And all the other Slayer monsters have some sort of recolor or like just a different model.
Unless it's the Kraken, right? It's got 4 extra tentacles, I guess, so.
Yeah, it's like a boss variant, though.
Is that what we're talking about? Thermonuclear Smoke Devil is the boss of the Smoke Devil.
Oh, okay. What's the...
Dust Devils?
No. What's the superior variant of a smoke devil? Because I was thinking that for some reason. No, you're right, because that does have a different smoke. That does have a different model. It's like a smoky guy, cloudy looking. Yeah.
Plus, people call the boss Thermi.
Yeah, truth. Yeah, you're right.
So, if you don't know, all it does is gives it some good yellow trimming around its head and neck and body with a glowing spotlight underneath them.
Yeah, I like the new model. This is what I'm gonna guess. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't know these poll questions. I didn't look at these poll questions, but there's gonna be like is there a way to have, could we have both models as a pet if you have the Thermi?
Go to question 14.
Yeah, exactly, right? Question 14, if 13 passes, which you just talked about, and the Smoke Devil's given altered model, should the pet model also be changed? Oh, okay, so they're not giving you 2 options, but yeah. I mean, I do like this model a little bit more.
I don't mind 2 options. It's kind of cool. Let's say 5 years in the future, you're playing it, all these newbies are playing, and you have the pet. It's kind of cool to be like, hey, this is what it used to look like.
See, it would be cool if you already had the pet and you got to keep that variant.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And either one get like the new variant as a separate pet, or you get the ability to toggle it just to be like emoji.
Yeah. There's the discontinued items coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Discontinued pets. Let's do it. Poll question 15. Should the account management tab on the mobile client be added to the desktop client? The account management interface offers easy access to bonds. No, I'm kidding. But
I mean, it does.
Yeah, it kind of does. Oh, it really does. But offers easy access to useful account information such as your remaining membership days, an indicator of unread inbox messages, name changer, some useful links. If this question passes, the friends and ignore list will be combined into one panel with the account management icon filling the space. I know they said that everything on mobile will be put into the base game, but this is like a UI change that would bug a lot of players. So I do like how this is being pulled. Yeah,
because it's hard to tell, like, will this mess up all of our tabs for our current interface?
No, it'll pretty much remove ignored and maybe have like how like the quest tab has those 3.
Combine the 3 with clan chat even.
Poll question 16. Should the improved banking interface on the mobile client be added to the desktop client? If this question passes, buttons will be added to the main interface that allows you to set a default withdraw and deposit when you left click. That is huge. It's actually a disgusting quality of life to bank standing skills, farmable bosses like Zulrah and Vorkath.
It is a huge improvement, but I do think I think it's okay because it's going to be in mobile. And I've talked about it in the past where I don't like the idea of I'm going to go on my mobile to string my unstrung bows for fletching or my herb lore making potions because it makes it so easy to withdraw 14 at a time. You just one click on mobile. In game, on the other hand, right click 14, which isn't that big of a deal, but if you misclick it, then you're just adding an extra couple ticks, right?
Yeah. The main thing is that it's not a big deal until you're going for like a 99 and you're doing like 10,000 or 20,000 of something at a time where you're so you're buying 20,000 logs and then you're cutting them, then you're stringing them. Like that really adds up.
It does, but if you're making something less tedious, is that a huge problem for the game? Is that the definition of easyscape? Should something be tedious, make it quote unquote more difficult?
So it's not like banking is difficult. It's more of like RuneScape itself is tedious.
Yep. Has a bunch of tedious things in it.
Yeah, even like doing things like agility and stuff, people see as tedious, and it's like, oh, I don't like doing it, so we need to have this changed. And I always disagree because like that's kind of easy skate. But the main thing is that mobile has things you can't do. Not well. Like try training prayer to POH on mobile. I do that when I'm going to the bathroom, or I did. And it was brutal. You have to like change the options so you can left click the portal, but it brings up like a different menu. So you can you can just like tap it, go to friends, try and tap the fucking name, or you misclick and have to hit enter, and then it just works. Because, you know, you don't have to click their name, by the way, if you're entering a POH that you already, like, if their name is still there, you know what I mean? So let's say you're going to your favorite house hoster, you could just hit enter or hold enter, and you'll, like, instantly enter.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Little tip. But there are things in mobile that are next impossible to do. I mean, Corvette got PK someone now. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, there are just things that, like, yeah, obviously you can do things on mobile, but it's just way more annoying and stuff.
Yeah, rune crafting, because you got to remember to hit the function button, which is the button that allows you to drop something on clicking it or pressing on it on mobile. So there are times where you have, you know, you press it so you don't have to hold down to unload your rune pouches, but you need to remember to repress that function button, or else you're going to be dropping stuff later on when you're trying to fill your rune pouches.
And I mean, I guess if you're listening in the past, or in the past, if you're listening in the future and they fixed this, but currently it is so fucking hard to click the right spell in the spellbook and mobile.
Oh yeah, they do. They have talked about actually fixing that.
Yeah,
spacing some of them out.
But my main thing is that they shouldn't just make playing on PC 100% better in every single aspect. I think it's kind of nice that, you know, I'm going to be out all day and I have my phone. Maybe I'll have like an hour over the course of the whole day, or maybe like 2. Let's say you commute on the bus or something. You're very confident no one's going to pin you down and take your phone and hack you.
Yep.
And you're playing RS, like it's, okay, you know what, I'll like do some fletching or something while I'm on the bus. But like if they just add everything that's good to the mobile client to desktop, it gives less of a reason to actually play mobile.
I think the idea of mobile is to play it when you're not able to be on your PC. I don't feel like they want people to be on their PC and either A, I'm going to save these certain activities for when I'm on my phone, or B, to hop off the PC and play on their phone because it's less, it's not as annoying.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe we just think of it completely different, because I like the idea of like, okay, so what I would do is I would be at home and I would pray, I'd train prayer, and then before I go to bed, get ready for work, I would set up my account to run agility. And I like put on my graceful, get my spells, teleport to Sears, go to bed, whatever. And then on break, I would just sit there and do a couple laps as I'm chilling, like having like vaping or, you know, smoking outside, just whatever.
I think the difference there, though, is that doing agility on your PC isn't easier or harder than your phone. You just have the restrictions on your phone that make it harder.
But for me, like, I have 99 cooking and fletching, 90 herb lore. I don't want to train that now for a while. Like, there's nothing, like, if I were to have those, like, available to buy, and I had, like, those bought or banked or anything, then I would definitely, like, would have done that. Like, if my next goal is, like, 99 herb lore or something, I would, like, do some of it on break, because, like, it's just, like, it's something to, you know what I mean? Because, like, I want to play on mobile. I don't want to, like, I don't know, feel like, well, like, this is really annoying to do, or this is annoying to do, but also I can do this, like, better on PC. Like, I don't know. Maybe
it's always, I mean? But see, my problem is I have the exact opposite, where I'm doing, let's say I'm training fletching. What I tend to do a lot is I'll cut all of the logs on my PC because it's pretty AFK and it's easy to do, and I'm watching Netflix or something. But then to string the actual bows, because I do want to do that, I want to sell the bows back as actual bows so I turn a profit and not just break even. So what I end up doing is I have like 5,000 unstrung bows sitting in my bank for weeks sometimes. Like lately it's weeks because I don't have time to fletch them, and I don't want to do it on my computer because it's a lot more annoying than it is to do on my phone.
Yeah, what's wrong with that though?
Well, because I don't have all the time. I don't want to get off my PC and play it on my phone. I want to play it on my PC. So I just have these activities that I don't do because I'm waiting for that time where I'm not able to use my PC. When I work construction, it was good because I could sit down. If I got all my work done, I could sit down for like an hour sometimes and I would do fletching. But now that I have school, now that I have a job that I can't sit down for that long and play on my phone, I find I just sit there with a bunch of things. And then sometimes I just go, all right, screw it. I'm going on my phone while I watch Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can always do it on this. Like, it's not like complete. Like, I think the clumsiness of mobile kind of evens out PC. And, like, the only thing is that, like, at the end of the day, I think all Jagex cares about is having players play their phone so they get the stats. And then also it, like, helps. I'm assuming if there's 30,000 people on mobile in like a perfect world, or like, let's say half the player base is on mobile or whatever, at a certain time, I'm assuming the way, because I'm not a big mobile gamer, but I'm assuming that like Google Play and the Apple Store will be like, look how popular these games are, and they get pushed up in the store.
Yeah.
So they want to like incentivize, where it's not like, maybe part of it's efficiency, but it's also like a quality of life convenience thing where it's like, if you're sitting at your PC watching Netflix, but also on your phone, Jagex might, like, that as of right now is a benefit to Jagex because they're getting stats they can play with. And if it works like that, then mobile, like the mobile numbers are getting pumped up. So more people will want to try out the game.
But really, I think mobile's there to be convenience to the current players and attract some people who are just in the mobile gaming market. A lot of people, they don't own consoles, they don't own a Game Boy, so they play most of their video games on their phone. And those people are out there. There are communities dedicated to that stuff. So they want to tap into that, but they don't want, I feel like they don't want, because they've said this in the past, they don't want you to feel like, okay, I got to hop off the computer now to do fletching on my phone. They want someone to be able to go, I'm on my PC, I'll do fletching on there and it's fine. That's where the difference is that having that option only on mobile, you're going to go, well, like, I'm not going to do it on my PC if I can do that on my mobile.
Is there, let's say you're not using mouse keys or like AHK, is there like a experience per hour? Like, is it EHP to fletch? Well, I guess it's not EHP because you're fletching bows, but like, is there like, do you get more experience per hour fletching bows on mobile than on desktop? Like, is it like that big of a difference that like,
I think there would be, for the average player, you're going to misclick on PC.
We need to ask an Iron Man this because they make fucking bows and staffs and shit. They make this shit for fun. They make this shit to elk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that is it for the poll questions. I'll quickly go through and see what the current results are because, hey, guess what? For some reason, I can view what the results are before I even vote. I've already voted, but you know what I mean. So currently, every question is passing except for question 7. Should the owl message when failing an urn in Pyramid Plunder be removed? So I guess there are some people who are like, no, we want to keep that in there. Mm-hmm. I am curious because it is pretty split. It's 52% is yes, 47% is no. I'm curious as to the players that do want it out, why? And I'm curious as to the players who don't want it out, why? It could be just like me where I think, what's the point of taking it out?
Anyways, I guess we'll move on. So the next thing, I guess, is the RuneScape soundtrack release. So it's now on Spotify, vinyl, CD.
Vinyl, that's awesome.
Yeah, all those hipsters. Oh, you know what? Get to see some live action RuneScape mixes.
Oh, man. I went through a little bit of a phase where I wanted to DJ for a bit. And when I say I wanted to DJ, I mean I wanted to old school, mix with records, right?
Yeah.
Old school. I went through a phase where I was like buying all these like EDM vinyl records. I bought like 3 of them, Deadmau5, Daft Punk, and another one. I can't remember what it was. And then so I buy those first, and then I go to a music store to see how much it would cost. Fucking like $1,000 for one turntable, but you need 2, right?
Yeah.
Plus a mixing board. So it's like minimum $2,000 to drop on it. And I was like, I'll get into it one day. And then lo and behold, never did. So
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I think it's been requested, for them to put on Spotify, but they kind of went above and beyond, and they released multiple avenues, I guess, to listen to their music outside of the game. And yeah, so they're announcing the upcoming release of 2 new RuneScape albums.
Sweet.
Yeah, so they partnered up with soundtrack specialist Laced Records. To release 2 albums that are available now for pre-order, both on double deluxe vinyl and CD. RuneScape Original Soundtrack Classics and RuneScape The Orchestral Collection. Both of these albums are also available digitally, plus buying either physical version includes a digital copy. So that's nice. The classic soundtrack is kind of, all the music we know today.
Hell yeah.
The digital and CD versions include an additional 19 bonus tracks. And if you buy it on vinyl, you'll get that digitally. And then they have the Orchestral Collection. So there's new classical music and new arrangement by BAFTA award-winning composer James Hannigan. Harry Potter, Command & Conquer, Dead Space 3. Those are some of the things James is known for. And the new tracks were recorded with the Philharmonia Orchestra.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, and it was at the Abbey Road Studios. This was in December 2017 when they recorded these.
I remember when they first teased about it, that's
Yep.
for sure. So that's pretty legit.
Yeah, so remember you can experience the tracks from the Orchestral Collection being performed live by none other than the Royal Philharmonic Concert Orchestra live at RuneFest 2018, October 5th. Get those tickets.
That actually sounds like it'll be a cool show.
Yeah. So whether you're interested in buying the physical copies or you just want to listen to the music, via Spotify or other avenues, I'm assuming like Pandora maybe. And they hope that we're excited as they are and we'll be able to enjoy their Guinness World Record breaking score while on the move, doing housework or lounging about, blasting that downtown, play that sea shanty.
Hell yeah.
Did you actually see the video of the guy blasting sea shanty throughout, I don't know, it was like a city or something, but then Madai Aza was like, yeah, I'll give you a bond. I like it.
No, I didn't see that. I did see a DJ at a club or something that used the sea shanty 2 as the drop to one of the songs.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good.
No.
Crowd didn't seem to like it.
No, not at all.
But you can't have a beat build up and then drop. It's I don't know what you were expecting. Everyone to go, oh shit!
So
you were like
RuneScape dance.
Yeah, everyone just goes, the fuck was that?
Okay, what if everyone started jigging at the exact same time?
That'd be fucking sweet.
Jigging and spinning. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to some update stuff.
You're not curious on what music's gonna be on Spotify?
All of it.
Nope. Unfortunately, not.
Really?
So the classics is 43 songs. I'll run through them as fast as I can. Scape Main, Newbie Melody, Harmony, Autumn Voyage, Yesteryear, Flute Salad, Barbarianism, Alcarad, Sea Shanty 2, of course, Baroque, Waterfall, Nightfall, Adventure, Medieval, Garden, Still Night, Fanfare, Arrival, Horizon, Castle Wars, Scape Sad, Crystal Sword, Dark, Book of Spells, Fanfare 2, Gnome Village, Romper Chomper, Lightness, Village, Cave Background, Sad Meadow, Monkey Madness, Dogs of War, Alter Ego, Elven Mist, Work, 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 Fee Fi Fo, Fo Fum, Mud Skipper Melody, Gnome Ball, Chompy Hunt, Harmony 2, Home Sweet Home, and Background.
Yeah, so I guess all the OG stuff.
Whereas RuneScape Orchestral Collection has some RuneScape 3 jams onto it. So they are RuneScape Theme, Newbie Melody, Harmony, Autumn Voyage, Gnome Ball, The Village, A Hero's Return, A New Beginning, The Town, Memories of Gothics, Skate Bold, Born to Do This 2, The Town 2, Village Dance, Baroque 2, Scape Dark, Village Life, Medieval 2, Scape Melancholy, Sunrise, Coming of the Night, Creation, The Winding Meadow, Waterfall 3, Aurora, Market Hustle, Sunlight, Snowdrops, Fragments of Gothics, Waterfall 2. I don't know why you'd have the second one come after 3. Anyways, Remembered Friends, Horizon, Sunset.
No county jig, no coil. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Disappointed. Anyways, though, I guess we'll move on to the updates.
Yeah,
Music.
let's do one more fun fact. If you want to listen to the classic music, it's actually listed underneath Ian Taylor, the one who creates a large amount of the music for the game, but he's also got some of his previous work from 1986.
Sounds like Judas Priest.
Judas Priest, Little King Diamond.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll listen to it like later on. Give it a gander.
Just listen to that and then realize what his masterpieces became.
Yep.
Sea Shanty 2.
Yep.
Okay, now we can move on.
Okay. So, to start off, we have some left-click range cooking to talk about. So, all cooking ranges now have a left-click cook option, and it's similar to like all the make-all interfaces. There's an option to choose any of the 10 10 of any cooked foods in your inventory. Nice little quality of life for all those cookers out there. So, yeah. The Slayer Helm recolor. So, most of you are familiar with the iconic Slayer Helm worn by players on task since 2014. And if you haven't already, well, go hit up Nightmare Zone, get a bunch of experience, get some points.
A lot of points.
Yep, imbue that bad boy.
And save all your next points, because when you want to recolor all your helmets, you don't want to, A, use your recolored helmets and forget like 2 weeks in that you didn't imbue it, and 2, realize you got to spend a couple hours in Nightmare Zone.
Yeah.
Especially if you got post 99s. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. I kind of like the unimbued variant a bit more, but they both look really cool.
It's hard to say. You need to see them in-game, right?
Yeah.
But it does seem like the unimbued is a bit more darker, I guess.
Yeah.
But usually when you imbue something, it becomes more clear.
Yeah, a little bit more light. We got some mobile interface changes. That's pretty much it. They're always working to make it a little bit better and as intuitive as possible. So the spaces between options and the drop-down menus have been increased to make them easier to select, and you can see how this looks like in the update post. It's definitely a big improvement. Overlays are now less likely to overlap with chat boxes and mini-maps. So they use the cooking minigame at the Hasidious kitchen.
Yeah, the mess.
And yeah, I noticed that like Wintertot and random things were like being messed up in mobile, but you know, they've fixed all that, or they're slowly fixing it all.
Mm-hmm.
Many central interfaces such as skill guides have had a semi-transparent background until now, and these have been made fully transparent.
Can we back up a bit? I know this isn't too helpful to everyone because you're listening through audio, but the picture they used for the UI cleanup where it shows the Hasidious interface overlapping with the chat box, the username's Meme Master, but what's in the chat box? Your old school bonds have arrived. You should find them in your bond pouch. Your pouch could not hold them all, so they'll be added next time you log in if there is space.
Yep.
Little subliminal messaging to go buy some bonds.
Hey, now's the time with the Deadman season that just started. Bonds go up in price, you make mad money. Yeah, a little transparent stuff, and additionally the attack option menu now displays upwards rather than downwards. They had a little player survey. And
if you do fill out the player survey, you enter into a chance to win one of 50 $50 Amazon vouchers, where also 5 lucky participants will receive a huge 60 by 40 centimeters, which is 23.5 inches by 15.75 inches. Anyways, printed map of Gillinor.
Yeah.
So cool. Maybe you don't want to print it off. Maybe you don't want to go to the picture store and get a poster made yourself. You have a 1 in 5 chance to win that.
They have like a little post talking about Mod Kyrene and his work on the range update. And like the coding and just like the time and his whole experience about like doing it. Quite a long read, and it's probably really boring to listen to. So if you want to go check it out, I would probably go to the update and read it. It's kind of interesting if you're into like programming and whatnot.
If you're not, it just looks like nothing.
Yeah, they show like some snippets.
Transmit equals yes. Param equals cooking _ product _ cooked _ meat.
Yeah, they show the parameters and some like if casings or if cases. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done anything programming related. But
point is, if you're not into programming, it looked super messy beforehand, whereas now it's nice and more neat. It's just spaced out more and organized, whereas the other one was just gobbledygook put together.
yeah. Anyways, though, I guess in other news, have fixed clipping issues that are always in the game.
Yeah.
Some rendering issues. There was a flag in the Varrock Museum that was missing until now.
Okay.
DFS and ward special attack cooldown can no longer be skipped by relogging, which I didn't know was a thing.
All right.
You can no longer eat the enchanted symbol from Mage Arena 2, which I never thought of.
Oh, okay.
Don't know why you're doing that in the wilderness, but whatever. Players may now be able to climb over the rubble beside the Bone Guardian in Anakara's Lament, providing the Guardian has been slayed.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the news. I guess now we have Deadman mode talk.
Well, before we do get into Deadman mode, because it is a big one, let's just quickly talk. So we're the community chatter part of it, which covers everything that's not in Devblogs, basically. So since Deadman mode is going to be a big topic to talk about, we'll quickly touch on the one non-Deadman mode related thing, which is last week they asked players to submit reward suggestions for clue scrolls after completing 100 master clues, and they decided to show us the 3 that got submitted properly. Originally, they talked about releasing a poll for us to vote on which one we liked. You could also vote on none of them, in which they would wait for more suggestions and do it all over again. Well, if you're unaware, the 3 suggestions that they came out with, pretty bad. So I'll do my best to explain it. Suggestion A was
A casket for a head?
Yeah.
Pretty much?
Yeah, the chest, rewards chest head that would have your face peeking out of it. It's as bad as it sounds. It doesn't look super fun. It looks
shit.
dumb. On par with the Easter reward that was a football suit.
I would say worse because this doesn't. It won't even look.
It won't look so ridiculous. You go, oh my god, that is hilarious. It would be like, who? What?
The model looks really sloppy. Like it's gonna clip through everything. Like it's just kind of there. Like it doesn't look good at all.
Suggestion B is a oversized magnifying glass
that you equipped.
And option C is 2 magnifying glass goggles, which kind of look like frying pans with your eyes being an egg inside the frying pan.
Yeah.
It looks pretty bad. Not very good suggestions. Now, tons of people have posted, look at all these great suggestions on Reddit. Well, Mod Aiza came and said, none of those players submitted it properly, which was to send them an email detailing certain things, I guess. Whereas these 3 are the ones that did, but they look so bad.
Yeah, so I think either one, those are the only 3 that were done properly, or they all kind of sat around during their tab time or whatever. I guess they don't have that anymore. On their weekend, they were at a bar, and they're like, that's a good meme. Yo, so you guys don't put that in? That would be a funny meme. Let's put that one in. Oh, that's a good meme. And they just if they had one of these in as a suggestion and then 2 really nice ones that weren't super memey, it gives you an option oh, I want goofy shit. Now it's we have to pick between 3 goofy things.
Not even goofy, poorly. The reason they're goofy is because they're so poorly done, right?
Yeah.
They have kind of backtracked a bit and said they're going to take some more designs before pulling these 3.
Yeah.
Because they know it's not going to pass. And if they do pass for whatever reason, we're all going to regret it in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, more on that in the future. Anyways, now we can move on to our Deadman mode discussion. Deadman mode happened this weekend. Quick question for the few who might not know what Deadman mode is. Sorry, quick explanation to the few that might not know what Deadman mode is. It's a type of game mode they released a while ago where everywhere is a PvP zone and you can kill anyone. Does not matter what level you are. If you kill someone, you get access to their bank where you get the 10 best items. But on top of that, experience rates are accelerated, so it's like 10 times experience. There's other restrictions, and we do go into them each season when they bring new ones out, but in a nutshell, that's what it is. You play that for a month, couple months, they seem to be changing it. Then you have the top 2,000 players with the highest total level. They get to do it all over again for a week. At the end of that week, whatever stats and whatever gear you have, that's what you're going into the tournament with. Then they have the well, they used to call it the final hour where it lasted an hour, but now it takes 2 to 3 hours. But basically, you fight it out. If you die, you're permanently kicked off the server, and you basically battle it out till a certain time hits where gas gets released, where you're going to take damage over time, unless you go to the 2 designated final areas. When you're there, you will fight it out until there is, 64 players on each final area?
I think so. That or 128.
Yeah, it's 128 or...
I think it's 64. Yeah.
Once you hit that number, the rest of the players on both final areas will get teleported to a new area of the map where you will now then have 1v1 battles until there is one person remaining. And that one person wins the big prize.
Yeah, $32,000 in total given out amongst all winners. First place gets $20,000.
So there's a lot at stake. And on top of that, it brings in a lot of viewers and it's great advertising. Usually people argue, because there's always a controversy of some sorts that happens, something goes wrong. People will come out and argue, hey, use that $32,000 and pay for a new dev. Or a couple, you know what I mean? Hire more people onto the dev team. When really, they're not using that money just to have this event. That money is only to be used for marketing the game. And they find that doing these events is a very good way at marketing the game and advertising it, which I can see why. I can agree.
Yeah.
It hits the top 5 on the Twitch channels when it goes on, depending what else is being displayed. Fortunately, this tournament, they were competing with a Call of Duty tournament and a League of Legends tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so those games, they have the possibility to pull more players or more viewers. Anyways, the stream does tend to have at least 40,000 people onto one stream, right? Not at least, but it has probably around 40,000 players on the main stream. But then you have Bodhi's stream, who's another very highly rated streamer amongst a ton of other streamers that do Deadman mode, and they pull thousands of viewers.
I want to say during like the first season, Deadman mode had like 40,000 and Bodhi had like 50,000.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of like certain power streamers, I guess. It's like the same thing like with like Tekken 7, if you guys are in like any fighting games. Tekken 7 will like have a tournament going, and then there's this one streamer named Eris, or like Avoiding the Puddle. It would be like if Jagex were like, Bodhi, restream our stream, just like have a stream of you watching it, and just tell them to like follow us and shit. Like, it's kind of the same deal, because like similar, you know what I mean? It's pulling the same numbers as like the tournament itself.
Yeah, it's because I guess they're two different viewing experiences.
Yeah.
One, you're watching the whole tournament as a whole, where you get access. There's commentators. It's a whole event, right? So you have a crowd that you get to listen in on. They have this new heat map that they've introduced, which has this tabletop screen that shows you the map of the area, and it has like the heat sensors.
Just where all the players are. Kind of shows you.
It's a heat map, yeah, so you can see where players are actually concentrated in. So you get that, whereas Bodhi's stream or another streamer's stream, you get to watch that from his perspective, so you get to see one player going around, you know, fighting other players, seeing how that one person is actually going to do in the tournament, whereas the main event one, they're bouncing around between different fights, different people, so you do miss some things. You might not see action from certain people's perspectives. I'm sure tons of people are watching both simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
So I did pull some clips that were highlights from my viewing experience, I guess. Parts of it were funny. Parts of it, you know, makes you ask questions, I suppose, and might lead into further discussion. So this first clip here, they have streamers on stage that are doing the tournament, and you get to kind of watch it. When they get killed, it kind of announces it or whatever. So the people who are actually at the event are kind of cheering for some of the streamers. That's the idea. The people on stage. One of them was Kemp Q, and I thought this was a funny moment. They decided to display the 4 screens or 5 screens of the streamers there, and they thought, let's take a peek and listen in to what they're doing. They were expecting some crazy clan shoutouts and all this strategy going on. Well, this is what it actually played out.
In fact, how about talking about seeing things? Let's take a look at what our guys on stage are doing currently. So we can see here now, we actually see live feed from them, and I believe we're going to be able to do a quick listen in. So looking at who's actually active, maybe we can have a listen to what Kemp Q's saying at the moment. Absolutely nothing by the looks of things. He's concentrating, trying to run away from Edgeville.
Looks like you maybe forgot something in the...
So the next clip I pulled. So the commentators for this one were Revan, who is a new commentator. He first appeared last tournament. Ian, or Pure Spam, who's been commentating for all the previous Deadman mode tournaments. This clip here was it got a little hectic. Sometimes I found the commentators speaking a little too fast. I don't know if you had the same issue where they were going too fast. I couldn't even understand what they were saying when I was watching it.
I was able to keep up, but I could see it got kind of jumbled at some points.
Yeah, it got really... It was just too much for me to understand. Plus, one streamer would go, and then the second streamer would instantly go off. So I pulled a clip for that, just so you can get an idea of, at some points, maybe they were a bit nervous. You know, Revan was one of them. It is his second tournament shoutcasting, so it's understandable that, you know, you have a little bit of anxiety of 40,000 people watching, right? Mm-hmm. You do want to make it intense, and you want to announce as many things as possible. So it gets kind of tough. But anyways, I'll run that clip.
The northeast as well. This client is going to get caught out. You see from the west, barrages and chins being thrown, as well as from the south, the group to the northeast, they're just getting mopped. You see the damage output towards the northern side of GZO, as well towards the northeastern corner. So much damage being outputted. In this situation, you don't really know what to pray. You see all the chins being thrown at you. You're like, okay, I want to pray range, and then the barrages come in and keep you cemented in place as bodies are starting to drop left and right. Keep an eye on that. Players remaining 641 right now, but it's going to drop quickly.
But actually, the clan to the southeast actually wrapped around and attacked as well. Now here we have 3 major clans we talked about before, 3 huge alliances. Everyone trying to stay out of combat at the same time. If you gang up on one team, take care of them quickly, but you have to look for your back behind you as well if they come around on the other side. And just chins being thrown everywhere. Now it's all about keeping calm and still trying to put out damage while you're also taking damage, which is a huge skill in itself as well. And it's just...
Third clip I pulled, another one that kind of made me chuckle. Just the way he pronounces bruise at one point. Kind of sounds like a robot being powered down.
Yeah.
For some bruise me to pick up. Meanwhile, Kemp Q, he's down to final 4 bruise.
The next clip here is Curtis, or MMORPG, in the final area where players are getting killed until there is enough in that area to get teleported to the 1v1s. This was kind of an intense moment because he was taking a lot of damage, almost died a few times. He was basically sitting at 10 health for a handful of seconds, which is kind of long in RuneScape, especially when you can take damage every, 0.6, is it? So here's that moment here.
2 sips of brew. Come on, sip. Chug that brew. Stay alive. You got this, Curtis.
And I see someone next to Curtis actually BSing, backstabbing across the round. Look at him with the zero staff, casting barrage rings. Desperately, so is Curtis. And he's done it. Just about with 2 brew doses left. Absolute champion. Wow.
The next clip here is, I don't want to say controversial moment, but it's kind of a problem that they forgot to do something about. I don't know if it's a problem, but there were starter kits last tournament that you could open up, and they would have some weapons that you could use, supposed to help you level if you're falling behind in the tournament. But it also came with 10 tuna. So what players were doing when they were smuggling this chest, which took up 1 inventory spot, but when you had the space available, you could open it up, and now you have 10 tuna. So they said they had changed it. One player had it. Shoutcasters are saying, well, you're going to hear it, but they're saying, why does he have it? He doesn't know you can't use it. Well, he actually opens it up and is able to eat the tuna.
Going to be the victor here. I think he's trying to be a little bit sneaky. Looks like someone's not been keeping themselves familiar with the updates in terms of Deadman tournament. He's got a box. It's one of those starter kits. If you remember from last tournament, you could open those, get food and supplies out. We changed that. You can't do it no more. You just wasted an inventory slot.
Yeah, waste of an inventory spot. He's only got 2 sips of brew left. This is still
the bench,
21 HP to 14.
He needed that.
Ooh, almost able to combo with the whip there. As 877, he's now just desperately trying to stay alive his prayer. At least he has Sand Fuse left, so he could try to keep this up. The redemption keeping alive. And now Volnab, he's out of brews himself.
Now, that was twice
and
there.
He has nothing to restore prayer.
I believe that FAP now may take this win by the looks of things. Just about with the redemption again. That's 3 times in a row. He's got 4 left to go as well. And boom! Straight off, 27 bolts to the face. He's down. That's really unfortunate. He's got the box open as well right at the end. Could have come back because of...
This clip at the end of the after the tournament finished, Mod Aiza was doing the start of the next tournament. So if you don't know, once the tournament finishes, this next season begins almost immediately, where you can jump in and start competing, I guess. At the event, Madaiza is on an iPad or some sort of tablet, and he's doing it on he's starting the season. So it's his way of showcasing both mobile and the new season. So while he's doing that, he's running through the stronghold of security. A lot of players run to that so they can get their 10k as fast as possible to avoid being killed. While he's doing it, though, he messes up some of the questions.
Use them, and look, I will say, as a Jagex employee, you cannot get any of these questions wrong. If you get any of these wrong, then
no! If you said that,
I didn't even read it. So there we go. Don't do what I just did. Make sure you read the.
And finally, the last clip I pulled here was segueing to something else, a little controversial issue that happened. So a quick backstory: one of the previous Deadman mode winners, Manked Up Mage, was disqualified earlier this week for boxing a teammate to avoid being PK'd by enemy players. Deagin, do you want to explain what boxing is?
So boxing is when you and another player, or like you and another account, pretty much collude to attack each other so no one else can hit you.
Yeah, there's a bit of a buffer zone when you're attacked by someone to prevent being PJ'd.
Yeah,
or player
so
jerked.
You'll do that. You know, you'll get your buddy, or maybe you have an alt account. You hit each other. People will use this as escapes, but it's called boxing because you're not trying to kill each other. You have prey melee up, whatever.
You're exploiting a mechanic in the game.
Yeah. Pretty much it, though. I don't know if I'm missing anything, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You just hit someone, and now they have like a 8-second immunity to taking damage. It's only in Deadman mode. There is like something similar, that like some sort of PJ timer, similar in like Bounty Hunter worlds and whatnot, but...
So how this happened, he's in Slayer Tower, killing some sort of Slayer monster for an item, presumably. He gets attacked by a team, he starts running away. He's able to get a bit of a gap, where he then uses a spell on a teammate that gives him enough time to teleport away. Because in Deadman mode, you can't teleport instantly, you gotta wait 10 seconds to teleport. This makes it harder to get away if you're being attacked. So after doing that, he was streaming, so it was very public. Jagex decided to disqualify him from that account because it is against the rules. Well, near the end of the tournament, this happens.
Now, I have a little bit of information. I'm going to keep this one just a little bit quiet. I'm not going to fully divulge in all of the details.
You can't tease us like that. Yeah.
When we get to the end, you'll realise why. But I'm just going to say that there is a particular participant that is still alive that has won a previous Deadman tournament. That no one is aware has been playing. That is all I'm going to say. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of it. Hopefully, we can see them go through to the next round.
And as you can probably guess, that secret player was Manked Up Mage, but he was on another account. Because he has an alt account. Many players, when they're trying to qualify for the finals, they'll bring a couple accounts. This is kind of the controversial issue that happened this season. He didn't win. We'll announce the actual winner once we're done talking about this. A lot of people were asking, why was he allowed to compete on a second account? So Jagex clearly knew he was competing on a second account. I guess the question really is, did that deserve a complete ban on all accounts? Or is it fair to just ban him on that main account that he was boxing on?
So the main thing is I'm not sure if it was an account ban or like a player ban, and they've done both of those on people before. For instance, there have been people that have been banned from a seasonal tournament for boxing. Not like, so an account ban would be like that specific account is banned, and if you have another one, go for it. But player ban is kind of just like you yourself, you're gonna get banned, you know, from the tournament. There have been people that have boxed and been player banned, where all their alts get banned. But I don't know if this was the case for Manked Up Mage.
Didn't seem to be, because it's not like he snuck in. They seem to be pretty aware of it.
They're kind of like happy about it. I think that's the main thing, is the attitude. They kind of thought it was really cool that he snuck back in.
They thought it was a big
twist.
Yeah, twist.
Yeah. If it was a confirmed account ban, then they can't do anything. But if it's a player ban, then like obviously that's problematic. But I think the biggest thing is that they are inconsistent on how they're banning for people boxing. And it doesn't sound like a big deal, but if it's like day 5 of a 7-day tournament and you get killed by like a clan or something, and you're, say, someone manked up mage who's, who has won before, it can easily ruin your tournament, and it sets you pretty far behind because you lose a lot of high value items. Usually when these people die, like, they rely on clans to re-gear them.
Yep.
The weird thing is, I'll go off like for just a quick second. There is another person. I think he's like the leader of, is it Lit? I don't know. But his name's Deadbotting, and he has been player banned, and they've even made statements saying he's banned from all tournaments. But he has played in every single tournament.
It is probably a hard one to catch, right?
Maybe, but
what are you gonna do? IP ban them? Then VPNs?
I don't know. You could track, unless he's like buying or making new accounts and bonding them just like for, like, he has to put in way more effort to not get caught than Jagex does have to catch him. Yeah. But the main thing is, like, they're very inconsistent on actually banning players. They kind of just assume that, like, hey, don't play. And then they're like, okay, thanks, Mr. Jagex. And, like, that's kind of it. But obviously they're going to try and sneak back in. That, like, Deadbotting guy had 8 accounts in one season, and he was pissed that he got banned on all of them. His is different. He was DDoSing and, like, leaking personal information and doing a bunch of shady stuff as well. But for Manked Up Mage, like, it's kind of weird because regardless, like, there is a bias from the Jagex staff because he's played on stage. He knows all the employees. He's met them all.
Right, yeah, he won a tournament.
Yeah.
On stage.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's kind of hard to say, like, unless, obviously, if it's an account ban, okay, well, he should be able to play, but also, hey, be more consistent, and if it's a player ban, hey, Jagex, be consistent.
Yeah. Now, they do say in the rules about boxing that each case will be it's dealt on a case-by-case issue.
Yeah, which I think is pretty dumb.
So here's where it's controversial, obviously, right? So on one hand, if he's banned on one account, should be allowed on the other account. It's hard to say. Obviously, getting killed is not as bad as having your main account banned. But the main reason he got caught was because he was streaming it, right? So if he hadn't been streaming it, would he have been able to get away with it? It's possible, right?
Yeah, maybe.
One of the main reasons that people notice was because he's a streamer and he's, more noticeable than an average player. You don't always know when somebody gets punished for boxing. It's not always as public as this, right? It is a tough one.
And regardless, I mean, he died. I don't think he won any money, so...
No. I mean, one of the big issues is that he made it to the final 1v1s.
Yeah, he took somebody's spot.
Anyways, not to take the attention away from the actual winner. So the person who came first place was Sapir Bolt. Some German name or something? Can you pronounce that?
Nah, I'm not even gonna try.
Okay, well, congratulations to the winner of this Deadman Mode tournament, Sapir Bolt.
Finnish?
Yeah, probably Finnish,
I think he was in Fools. I think Fools had 3 out of 4 people in the top 4.
Right, that's true.
So it's probably some Finnish jargon.
Anyways, any final thoughts? Did you have any gripes about this tournament? Did you think this was better than the other ones?
So I don't know if you watch any of, like, the progressions throughout the season.
Right, we should talk about the items that came in too, right?
Yeah, so this is kind of what I feared, that they were going to be too strong. God damn, were they too strong. Well, they were super strong. So the main items that, like, were used that we should talk about is Zuriel Staff, the Stadius Warhammer, and the Vesta Longsword, the VLS.
Yep.
Everything else I'm going to just say is irrelevant because you didn't really see much of anything besides the Morgan's throwing axes on day 1.
Yeah, you might have seen some of it during the cluster of people in the final areas, but it's hard to determine how well they actually performed there.
Yeah.
1v1, you can actually see it a lot better.
Yeah, so I guess I'll say that I like to, like, I don't watch like live footage, I guess, of the week because, like, a lot of it's just grinding. You see the same shit, right? It's always people just training Slayer or questing, whatever. But so I like to watch the highlights of, like, a bunch of different YouTubers. I'll, like, get home, go to, like, 3 or 4 different YouTubers that have different strats. Like Ditterbitter did a lot of PKing. I think it was all PKing. Mika 279, I think it is. It just does like Slayer, and he always just hits rank 1 combat. Torvesta just does whatever he does, British stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and then usually I'll stumble across like random people. Like I watch some of ChemQ stuff, all that stuff. And one thing I noticed is that the Morgan staff, so I think the main pull for that is a 30% accuracy I guess you only see it when they're casting Barrage, but it's extremely accurate where people are in Carol's praying mage, and I would see fights go down where they catch almost every freeze on that, which is absolutely ridiculous. Really strong, and especially so I think the main reason why they brought the Zuriel staff in general was because of, I think, last season where everyone was range tanks, and they pretty much wore like full Varix with Rune Crossbow. I mean, they're like D-hide switches, and then they had like a flail, so they would just bolt you and then flail you, bolt you and then flail you, and then they would just be as tanky as possible, and the fights are really stale.
Throw up some vengeance.
Yeah. And so they brought the staff to bring tri-Bridding a better chance.
Yep.
And the main thing is that even if it's 2 people that are tri-Bridding and one person has a Zuriel staff, typically they won, because if you can catch a freeze and your opponent can't, you immediately have control for the next 30 seconds because you can walk under them.
Yeah.
Like the only thing they can do is they can have short keys, shout out to short keys back in the day, have like a short keys macro where they tap a button and it does : render self and they can't see themselves.
Yeah.
And you would do that because, so if you freeze someone and they haven't caught a freeze on you, you stand under them and then you can switch your weapons and they don't know what to pray against. You can do like weird little tricks, like you can walk out on a diagonal and hit them with a range or another barrage and they can't melee you back. You just have free reign for 30 seconds or like 15 if they have magic up. If like you'd watch fights where someone has a Morgans and they hit every single freeze and the other person just doesn't have a chance, and then they just lose. And it wasn't really skill based. It was just like this guy had a better staff.
Yeah, okay.
So that's my issue with the Morgans. I think it's way too accurate.
You mean Zuriels.
That's what I meant. Sorry if I'm saying Morgans. Yeah, I mean Zuriel. Also, like just consistently hitting like 32s and 34s with it. It was, I don't know. It's pretty powerful.
So you say it's too powerful because they are very powerful, but do you say
it's
very powerful in a bad way?
Yeah. So the main thing is that RuneScape's super RNG. When you're going into a fight unmatched and you just have to sit there and hope that they don't hit a freeze before you do, but they almost always did. I can see it being very frustrating to be in that position where you have full carols and you're praying magic and they're praying melee and you splash on them, which is okay, it's bad RNG, but then they hit you. And I saw a fight that happened like 3 or 4 times, and the dude was like defending. He had the right prayers up. He was doing everything like as well as he could, but he just slowly just got beat out because he had like no control over the fight, where it's just him reacting to like a guy standing under him and peeking him. The main reason why it's too strong is because of the next item I'll talk. Well, okay, I'll just say Statius. I like Statius. I thought it was really interesting. Think of Dragon Warhammer, but geared for PvP.
Sure.
I thought it was really cool because it kind of counteracts the defense boost you get from Bruise, because it lowers the defense. So I'm okay with that. But then the VLS, the Vesta Longsword, that thing, like, you can spec someone in tank gear with melee, and you can hit him for 30s, which is pretty unreasonable. Like, that's very consistently strong. The main thing with the VLS, which is weird, because they took out Varix, but when you spec, it goes through the opponent's defense, and it hits hard. Like, you can drop 50s and stuff when they don't have prayers, and it's super accurate. It's better than the Grazi Rapier by a good chunk. Well, a huge chunk, actually. It's more accurate, does way more damage, and if you combine that, if someone has a VLS and the Morgan, or the Zuriel staff, which most people did, and I'll go into why that was a thing, it made it kind of lame to watch, because you would see bad or shittier opponents beat someone that was clearly better than them, but they're just hitting them through prayer and tank armor non-stop, and it's kind of annoying. That, and also if you watch like the Ditterbitter used it almost every day in the the tournament leading up to the final hour, and super strong.
I am kind of the opposite. I did like the addition of these new weapons. The armors, I don't recall seeing any of them in the 1v1s.
Nope.
But the weapons, I can understand why they want to bring it, because most of the time in the seasons, it just becomes a endurance fight. Whoever runs out of food first, you're probably going to die. Now, that still kind of happened in this tournament here.
I mean, there was a big 56 KO or something like that I saw.
Yeah, there was some actual moments where somebody got KO'd, which those are the cool and exciting moments I've found. I prefer to watch that than just, this guy's out of food first, he's dead.
I like watching the tides of the fights go, and I guess that does add, like, the chance to come back, which you'd see some, like, really cool comebacks and stuff. It was cool, and there was a lot more PKing going down during the actual week itself. It wasn't just a grind fest. Well, it was, but, you know, not as much. I felt either, one, the items are too strong, or two, what I feared, and people just cheese the fuck out of getting the items, which I knew this was going to happen. So the way you get these items is that any monster in the wilderness has a chance to drop them. The higher the level, the better the chance. But what you'd see is every single green dragon was camped non-stop by like alts, like 24/7. They're all being camped because they drop double the bones and they have a decent chance to drop these items. You'd see clans locking down Ankus and stuff, which was cool. But there's people killing like level 2 rats and stuff. Like people were killing everything everywhere. And
Sure.
This is just what I heard. And obviously, like I didn't play the tournament, so I can't confirm it. But a lot of them were generated through, you would cannon like the rats in Varrock Multi or something, right? Like you would find a group of low level monsters that you can kill. It created, there was like I felt like there was too many in the game. Like if there was like 3 or 4 Vesta longswords, you know, like something like that would be kind of cool. But I think 90% of the people in the final hour had it.
But I feel like that is what made it much more fun to watch, because it'd be kind of lame to see 3 people have it and the people would just lose the fight then, right? But since a lot of people had it in the 1v1s, you saw it, fights go back and forth, big hits on both sides.
Let me say that again. Let me rephrase that. Everyone who was in a good clan that was like highly ranked and like a good PKer had one, because they got given 1 or 2 if they died by a clanmate. If you're a solo player, you didn't have one, and it put you at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, but let's just look at it from a viewer's perspective of watching the Twitch tournament, right? The Deadman mode tournament. Because obviously there's all these problems that go on during the week, but a lot of people are just blind to it because they're not paying attention about, you know, all the complexities throughout the week. It's the final tournament, the final hour that there is what a lot of people are watching.
Yeah. Well, my main thing is that, so Jagex, you know, trying to go esports like every other game, that's fine. But RuneScape is super RNG based. RNG in like an esports viewing, like competitive, like you know, you watch like a Hearthstone tournament and you're like, okay, this is kind of interesting. And then someone top decks that one time where they pull out one card they need and you're like, oh, that's fucking sweet. But if you're playing, you know, RuneScape and everything is like that top deck, like that super high variance, super RNG where like this guy catches a freeze that he should not have hit, and then he stands under him, and then he messes up and does a Vesta Longsword spec on melee prayer, but then hits a 30, and also that freeze hit like a high 20, and like that dude got hit for 50, even though he made the right play, and you would see that happen a lot, and like maybe I'm biased, but that like bugged me a lot. You would see someone who was like doing everything right, and you're like, he's probably gonna lose this.
Fair enough. I guess everyone's different, you know what I mean? Because I was watching it, felt the opposite. I got excited about the big hits. It made it more exciting to watch, where it's not about who's going to run out of food. It's you're watching to see who's going to get KO'd. So,
I mean, I guess I like to watch the marathons of like I like watching the slow drip or the slow burn. I don't like how gas is in it. I like watching 5-6 minute fights, so maybe I'm just different. I like to watch them like slowly bleed out, and like, because there's always that like, oh, is he gonna start blood barraging now? Like, dude, fucking go for it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
try and heal up. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like different like that. Maybe I'm just, my viewing experience is different.
So with the new weapons, you found that previous tournaments were better?
Before, like, well, that's the thing. Every final hour, there's always something. Like 2 finals ago, where there was the one guy who won brought full Verax and did the tank method, but everyone else was tri-breeding. I really liked that one. I think that was on the mass DC. That the controversy of everyone DCing, I think that might have been
It's
it.
hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Every Deadman mode tournament's remembered by the controversial issue.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
so
then-
then Verox the first time, that was cool. But then the second time when everyone was rocking it.
Everyone had it, and people were like, oh, look, there's one guy tri-breeding in top 8. Cool. That was boring because there's no strategy, right? I like seeing
I do
the
like how
strategy.
the meta does change with them introducing these new weapons.
Yep.
It was different. It was something fresh to us to watch.
I do like I like how I was able to watch it or go through the week and just see well, here's something new, because it does kind of get boring where you watch some YouTubers do the same strategy but they kind of just tweak it where it's I'm going to try and get 94 Slayer.
Okay.
And you're just oh fuck, it's a week of you playing 20 hours a day.
Doing Slayer. But yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, this one probably was one of my more favorite ones. It did seem like the chemistry between the commentators was a bit off this one. They do a good job, don't get me wrong. It just, something seemed a bit more off about it.
Yeah. So I feel like they just well, how do we become good commentators? I don't know. Let's go check out League. Alistair, Ultimate, the Nexus is gone. And they're yeah, we can do that. Because typically when there's people commentating, you have a play-by-play, which is the fast, talking of just saying everything you see on screen. And then there's the color commentator. They just give you information and they just talk about Vengeance is a spell you get from the Lunar Spellbook after completing Lunar, you know what I mean? They'll
yeah, they do that in between. You see that with UFC.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've watched it, but when Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg were the ones commentating, Joe Rogan usually filled in the dead air time with stats about the fighter or facts.
But I feel like they don't have a set role. I feel like they both do both whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, and they say what they know. I don't know. Yeah, something just felt off. There's the parts, obviously, where they're talking too fast, trying to give a play-by-play when there's 200 players on screen, something like that. And it was hard to follow. And sometimes they were cutting each other off, or someone was talking over the other person.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just something felt off.
They need some John Madden shit where they have a dude do a play-by-play and they circle the screen. As you can see from the Southwest when this clan comes in, and look how they react by
that's another
running
thing.
away.
And that was another thing about the commentating was, I don't know how the average player cares about the clanning within it. Some of it's interesting, but some of the details about the clans, I'm just... one of the clans was Weed Blazers.
Yeah.
They did this, and Lit did this, and Fools did this.
Founded in 2014.
But I'm sitting there saying, I'm so out of the loop when it comes to clans. I know a few of them maybe because whatever. Memes, not as intense as it comes off of sometimes. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah. The clans.
Maybe because I'm so out of it, it's not as intense to hear about, oh, this clan did this, and oh, what a sneak attack, and they're taking out this clan. I have no favorites.
Yeah.
So I'm not rooting for one or another.
If it's not rot, then good for them. You know? Yeah, I'm waiting for Mod Jed to win. Still waiting for him. We actually have a secret participant, and it's
Mod Jed with his rotten potato.
Yeah.
One hitting everyone.
Oh, he's dead, and looks like someone else got the rotten potato. Jad spawning everywhere.
Great. I mean, that would be an exciting. That's one. Give every player a rotten tomato. Make that an item that drops. That would
instead of the gas coming in, they should just make Jads hit people as well. So you have to prayfully against Jad while you're fighting this other dude. I think that'd be pretty good.
But you don't know which Jad's targeting who.
Yeah.
You gotta get lizardmen shamans shooting the blobs.
You know what they should do when it's the two groups meeting up? It should just do the Ohm pairing effect where you get a circle and it's run to this person. You see everyone swapping for 50s trying to get to each other.
That would make things interesting. But that's basically the Deadman mode discussion. I don't think we're missing anything.
Yeah, I think we covered it all.
It was a good tournament. I did enjoy it. Unfortunately, I had to watch it after it was done because I was stuck at work.
Yeah, I got home sat down, loaded it up, and it's and we're in for the 1v1s now. And I'm perfect. This is what I kind of care about. I don't like the clans running in circles, chinning each other.
I do kind of enjoy that. It's kind of fun to watch. It's different dynamics, and then it leads into the 1v1s. It's you get a little bit of everything, don't you?
Yeah.
Alrighty, though. After the Deadman Mode tournament, we see 88,000 players concurrently logged in on Oldschool RuneScape. Is that a new record high?
Maybe?
I
don't know.
think so.
How many alts, though? Let me just burn that.
How many alts? How many bots?
Let me just burn that down. But no, that's good. Yeah, new alt, possibly all-time high.
Yeah, it's possible, but yeah, it's cool to see. And now with mobile around the corner, some more excitement. Alrighty. So I guess we're going to move it on. We'll bring back some lore. During our last lore discussion, we were on the topic of the bosses of Oldschool RuneScape. The last boss we talked about was General Grador from the God Wars dungeon. This week, we will be talking about Kirill Tutsaroth. Kirill was a commander for the Zamorakian armies during the God Wars. Before Kirill was a commander, he was a member of the Tutsaroth tribe. The Tutsaroth tribe was a tribe of demons that lived in Infernus, which is the plane where demons live. You can think of planes as another world or realm, not within Gielinor itself. The Tutsaroth tribe was the ruling tribe of a race known as Avernix, which were the slaves of the Infernals within the realm, until Zamorak led them in an uprising following his ascension as a god, where they would then fight for Zamorak in the God Wars during the Third Age. That is all the information we have, and not all of it is included within Oldschool RuneScape itself, but next week, we will continue with the other two God Wars bosses. Alright, now time for our Grand Exchange, a visit to the Grand Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So now we get to talk to you guys about Audible, real briefly. If you like podcasts, you might enjoy audiobooks. You get plenty of hours. Deagin's talking in the past how his is 50 hours?
44, yeah.
44, mine's like 30 or 40. But they're pretty good, and if you don't have time to actually read a book, it might be a great way to substitute reading a book with listening to one. And a lot of them do a really good job. The narrator, at least the one from my book, he's really good. How's your narrator? Good?
Yeah, I have 2.
Oh, 2.
Yeah,
How's
girl
that?
and a guy. It's pretty good.
Works out good?
Yeah.
Good voice acting?
Yeah.
Nice. So if you guys are interested in trying Audible, do visit audibletrial.com/wild. You'll get a free month subscription that comes with a free audiobook. There's plenty to choose from, and if you decide to stay subscribed, each month you get another book. So there's no shortage of a selection, ranging from autobiographies to fantasy, nonfiction, whatever there is.
Well, whatever 30 Shades of Grey is.
Yeah.
That's probably on that. I don't know, though.
Erotic novel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you about the time where I made, when this was in theaters, I wanted to go to the movies with my buddies, and I made a joke saying, hey, let's go see 30 Shades of Grey. And then we went to the counter to go buy, we went to go see like Kingsman or something, so I'll put a date on it. And my one buddy goes, all right, I'm going to get a ticket to 30 Shades of Grey. And I was like, dude, I was fucking kidding. And like, they were actually super down to go watch it. And it was like 20 minutes of being like, we're not watching this. We're 3 dudes going to go see 30 Shades of Grey together. This is kind of weird.
Do I take off my pants?
Yeah.
So you didn't watch it?
No.
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to go see this on my own. And then they're like, okay, no. We'll go see. I think it was Kingsman.
I heard it's
Or
not very
John
good.
Wick.
Not Kingsman or John Wick, but 30 Shades of Grey. I heard it's not very good. I heard it's like
Bondage porn.
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
like not. I guess if it's probably good if maybe if you're into the vanilla sex scene, that stuff would be good. But I know if you're into the bondage sex scene, that stuff is very tame. That movie, from what I've heard, I haven't read it or watched it.
I don't know.
But speaking of erotic novels, this does remind me of this one time I was taking a dookie at our grandparents' house. Our grandpa, we were using his washroom in the basement. He had a book there, started reading it. Turned out it was an erotic novel. You ever read that one?
Attaboy. Good old Gramps.
Yeah.
Getting his rocks off in the basement. That's what he was known for.
Hiding from the wife upstairs. What are you doing? I'm playing solitaire.
That's why he's taking 40-minute dumps every day.
Anyways, audibletrial.com/wild.
Yeah. Oh, it's wild.
Oh, yeah,
Trust
it's
us.
Getting wild. I'm sure there's tons of erotic novels.
Yeah. I bet you his was there. Old Gramps.
I don't remember what it was called. It had to do with a casino. And it was about this. I think it was about a guy or a girl, but the guy was like a high roller gambler, and the girl's probably just some waitress from across the road. Some floozy, some skivvy.
Yep.
Grandma used to like to use that one anytime you left dishes downstairs. I'm not your skivvy. It sounds like some pirate term.
Yeah. I just know they always say the word, like, they wouldn't always say it, but they would say whore instead of whore. Whore.
And winda, tomato.
Yeah.
Boob tube?
Yep.
Boob tube. Anyways, we're getting way off track. Now it's time for our Patreon. So, our Patreon supporter of the week is Meat Lord. So I want to thank you directly for supporting the show. You are allowing us to continue doing this every week with no worries of the financial burden that uploading fees do cost. And now that I'm in school, it is a huge load off my shoulders. So thank you very much for helping support the show. We gratefully appreciate it. And yeah, can't thank you enough. Hope that's clear in these messages. That's why they usually sound so weird. How many times do I say thank you in a message? Probably more than
the average.
More than the average. So thank you very much, Meat Lord, for supporting the show. And also thank you to every single person for supporting us. You guys are amazing. I did not expect this much support and just completely taken aback by it. And as soon as I got to call this week, but once our internet's fixed, I do have something in the works for having a guest on a standalone episode. We've been talking for a couple weeks now. Yeah, once the internet's good, last thing I want is to drop the call halfway through. That would be unfortunate. Wouldn't make for a good episode. Wouldn't make for a good first release.
Sorry, say that again, Dilz. You're lagging out.
We'll do this over text.
Yeah.
I'll just say it. I'll
Voice
voice
act. Yeah.
All right, Deagin's playing the part of Zezma. Anyways, if you guys want to become a supporter of the show, you can visit patreon.com/The Wilderness Podcast. We have some rewards available for different tiers, but please do not feel obligated to support. We do appreciate everything, but we don't want anyone to feel like they have to. Bonus episodes, if we do release them, they'll come early to Patreon, but eventually they will come out to everyone else. Might just be a week or a couple days or so. If you want to come hang out with us in-game, that is WildCC. Our Facebook is facebook.com/The Wilderness Podcast. We also got a Facebook group set up, so if you want to come hang out and discuss there. When I first made the page, I thought a page was a group, so I realized a group is much more better for discussing and sharing stuff. So if you want to join it, ask someone on Discord, or just keep an eye out for the link somewhere, because unfortunately, I'm not going to say, hey, join facebook.com/group/5624089. Q. Our Twitter is @TheWildernessRS, and our email is thewilderness.podcast@gmail.com. Discord is posted on Facebook and Twitter, and Deagin.
Twitch and Twitter, DeaginRS. Okay, so I posted, I think I mentioned last episode about survey thing. Okay, now that I say this, probably by the time you hear this, I'll close the survey, but check Twitter, check Discord. I posted those there. Chance to win 10 mil. It's one question, and then RSN. Pretty quick.
God damn, 10 mil.
Yeah. Hopefully I haven't closed it yet. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe you'll leave it up for a few days.
We'll see.
Start looking at the list of names.
I mean, I have 3 accounts in there, so once the ratios get a little imbalanced.
And the winner is Dilz 28. Damn it. God damn.
Next. Skip.
Speaking of surveys, though, I released a survey for the show. Just since we're going into our 3rd year, you can fill that out. Give us some feedback. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what else you would like to see. And what discussions you're most interested about the most. It's a way for us to know how we can improve going on to our 3rd year, because we're always looking to make the show better as we continue. And our year anniversary is a good time to basically look at the previous year and review it. So basically asking you guys to review it, let us know. Fortunately, no 10 mil on the line there. Bonds, they cost money.
Is that it for everything?
Yeah, that is everything. So our song of the week was submitted by Umbricon, also known as Yellow Billed Magpie on Discord. And he suggested the song Serene. It started playing randomly while I was training agility in the wilderness course, and even though it's for the air altar, it was both perfectly jarring to the whole danger of the wilderness while perfectly fitting the desolate vibes of being a wasteland. So, as he mentioned, the song is unlocked at the air altar. The song Serene is composed by Ian Taylor. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed. Catch us next week for the next episode.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, take care.